All right, well, without further ado, let's get into my worst segment on the show, and that is game picks, folks. That's like the whole reason we're fucking here, and I can't do it. So let's start with Thursday night, and here's how we're doing this. I'm going to toss this coin in the air. I'm going to catch it. If it's heads, I'm going with the home team. If it's tails, I'm going with the road team. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout-out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PLAYBOOKSPORTS on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. Tails, we're going with the road team. Go ahead and give me Tampa Bay on the road here. Tampa Bay in a couple of power rankings here as a top team. Getting points at Atlanta. Atlanta covered the 1.5 last weekend against me. Of course they did. Only one on the Saints. Plus 1.5. Lose by 2. Makes me want to puke. That's just how it's going this year. That is just how it's going this year. Give me Tampa Bay on the road. Thursday night football. Tampa Bay's hot. I don't know what Atlanta is. They're kind of all over the place, man. Addison.
Yeah, Nate, I'm actually with you here, Tampa Bay as well. Just the performance last week. Sure, it was a banged-up Eagles team, but the offense of Tampa Bay, I believe in it. That's going to show up more often than not. In Atlanta, it's been a little bit lackluster for all the weapons, but Darnell Mooney, Sage, that's a great fantasy sleeper because he is Kirk's favorite target, and he's a threat. And that Atlanta offense, man, gets open every single play. But it is on the road for Tampa Bay, but I don't care. Baker's frisky, and the way that offense is playing, I think Tampa Bay could come in and score some points, and we'll see if Atlanta can keep up.
Yeah, I love it. No, Atlanta's, like you said, they've been all over the place, and I just don't know what I'm getting. But at least I do know what I'm getting with Tampa Bay, and that is going to be a crazy aerial attack, and they're learning to run the football with Bucky Irving.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, with that even split right there, Rashad White, we know how efficient he is through the air. I'm going to roll with Tampa Bay right here, going into Atlanta, covering this plus 1.5. I just like what they're doing way more than Atlanta, even though Atlanta plays them close, but, hey, they could win by 3. And,
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
And Colin, before you give your pick, we did go 2-0 in clean sweeps last week.
Okay.
Bears and Lions held it down.
Shout out NFC North.
Yeah, shout out to NFC North, baby. Come on.
Best division of football.
You guys already talked about it, Atlanta, week in, week out. Just no consistency across the board, and lots of questions there. We all kind of buried ours.
Blessed against the Saints.
Yeah.
Blessed.
2
because of
defensive touchdowns, or
Sheed
1 special teams,
on the
1
punt.
defensive.
What an idiot.
Oh my God.
What an idiot.
2 coaches in a row where they're like, we don't care what Kyle Pitts does. I mean, we're just
Yeah.
trying to win.
Yeah, we don't care about
I'm
him.
just like, oh, you killing us.
I'll say this is my first
They got
year
him. They got him.
riding the Kyle Pitts experience in
They
fantasy
got him.
football, and I'm already wanting to die. He had a good week 1, and then the last 3 weeks have been brutal. Last week with a nice 0.0. Shout out you, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks
Top
for
5 pick in the draft, and there he is.
Like a ton of 3 catches.
Yeah,
The Tud saved him. The Tud saved him.
Big week.
But in this game, something I've done all year long, and I'm going to keep doing it, is just not overreacting to the week before. Tampa coming off that huge win. Atlanta coming off a win where they relied on 2 scores non-offensively and a career-long field goal from Koo at the buzzer to win it. So I'm going to take Atlanta at home here because why not?
Yeah, I
Respect that, honestly. I mean,
Division game, now I'll take the plus points.
yeah, like plus points in a close one where the teams are pretty equal, I think. Next up, we've got the New York Jets. First London game, first game across the pond. We got the New York Jets, 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 taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings line right now, -2.5. And while this year has been hard, it's been hard for me. I haven't enjoyed it. What I have enjoyed watching is the New York Jets football team suck really badly. Their 2 wins are against the Titans, who are bad. So are the Dolphins, but the Titans, bad. And who else did the Jets beat? The Patriots. Bad team. Very bad team. Lost.
Worst teams probably.
Yeah, arguably. 2 worst teams in the NFL. Lost to the Niners badly. And it's the offense. What are we doing? You're telling me Bo Nix throws for 60 yards and you lose that football game? He had 7 completions for -7 passing yards. We've already got some back and forth between Rodgers and Saleh. Something's got to give. You know what it is Aaron Rodgers is the girl who's way too hot for Robert Saleh, and Saleh got a shot with her, and he's completely choking it, and Aaron's like, I'm way too good for you. It's gonna be an ugly split. Right, so way too early because he got super excited, dropped to a knee after a month, and Aaron's like, you know what, why not? I mean, I'm getting up there. 1 knee, not 2. Drop to 1.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. But, Addison, I'm coming to you first. Big Jets guy. Not in your power rankings this week. Sad to see them drop out.
Yeah, that was a brutal loss. I mean,
Ugly loss.
Those-
That's a must-win game.
those games are exactly what Aaron Rodgers came to New York to stop from happening, right? Because Zach Wilson would lose a game where the defense allows 60 yards passing. And what's going on? I mean, is the cadence that big of a problem? Clearly, false start penalties were a big issue. And honestly, I cannot lie. Minnesota's my number one. If this game was in Minnesota, I think I'd take the Jets, and it's strictly because Rodgers back in a place he knows and he'd be comfortable. But this one being in London, I'm going to ride with my number one power ranking team in the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is a bad time for the Jets to play the Vikings. It's who you play, but also when you play them. Minnesota 4-0. You got to travel to London. Things are rocky right now in New York. Give me Minnesota minus 2.5. I think a field goal they could easily cover.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Addison. I'm going to roll with Minnesota as well here in London. And it comes down to which stars are making the plays right now. You know, Darnold's making the plays. Justin Jefferson's making the plays. Aaron Jones is making the plays. Breece Hall is not making the plays.
4 yards on 10 carries.
4 yards. That's exactly what I was going to say.
They had a 1 yard ball at the 1 yard line off of pass interference. No
I mean,
touchdown.
Garrett Wilson not making the plays. Aaron Rodgers not making the plays. No. Like, they're not going up to that standard. Granted, the weather was absolute dog shit. Horrible. I get that. But that doesn't...
Both teams.
Yeah, but both teams had to play it. And one team scored 10 points, the other one scored 9. You can't rely on a 50-yard field goal to win the game from Greg the Leg when it's not 2013 anymore.
Yeah, it's
you know?
Greg the Leg.
Like, sorry, but that's not happening anymore, you know? So... You're going to have to show me something before I start believing in you again. I know I say that every week about a different New York team. But here we are with the Jets, and you're not showing me anything. And you have the stars. So, Minnesota, I believe in you.
Chris Broussard. I will say, I'm disappointed in Garrett Wilson connection with Aaron Rodgers so far. They haven't had a 60-yard game together yet. And
First-round pick in fantasy.
last year and this year.
Yeah.
And that connection just hasn't worked out very well. But what's the coin saying? Tails. I'm taking the Jets.
Yes.
No, I kind of want to take the Jets as a hater pick anyways, because no matter what I win, right? Jets either get blown at and lose, and I'm happy, or they win and I steal a pick somehow. It is to lose by 2. Oh, man. That would be sad. Yeah, that's true. I don't hate the Jets in this spot, only because it's a weird week in London. Anything can happen in London. London is very strange. I do think that locker room is going to quickly get toxic if they don't start playing better also. It's not a must-win game, but if you're the Jets, right, you lose week 1, you're like, that's okay. We're going to be 4-1 in no time, right? We're playing the Vikings. Vikings are bad. Week 1, we all thought Vikings were terrible. We've got the Broncos. Broncos are awful. We got the Titans and the Patriots. Like, we're going to be 4-1. Yeah. And now you're 2-2. And you've got the red-hot Vikings, and then you got the Buffalo Bills, and then you've got another good team after that who I can't think of at the moment. But, like, you've got 3 losable games right here. Yeah. Are you going to be 2-5? I don't know.
And just quick point from the Jets. I understand a little bit of friction with Saleh and Rodgers, but they brought in Aaron Rodgers to win them a Super Bowl. And I understand maybe standoffish attitude at the podium saying we need to hold guys accountable instead of changing the cadence. But I like that because – What would Brady say if he's up there? We're going to change my cadence because guys are getting false starts. How about they stop getting false starts and we operate a clean football game, and we'll see what it goes there. It's just the mentality of a winner. But we'll see because there's just friction there because they're not used to it. They don't win.
No, they don't. Exactly. And Saleh in his career is a 33% winning head coach. Like, that was my biggest issue with them. Like, the talent is there, but you have a coaching staff that may be one of the worst coaching staffs overall in football, going up against arguably the best coaching staff in football in Minnesota. Yeah. I mean, is there a better guy calling plays right now than Kevin O'Connell and a better defensive coordinator than Brian Flores at the moment? I don't think so. However, Jets plus 2.5 is the play. Thank you, Coin. Colin.
Thank you, Coin.
Jets simply cannot lose games this season when they give up 10 points or less. You brought it up, tension between Rodgers and Saleh, and as much as shit as we like to give Robert Saleh, because I don't think he's a good head coach, but he does call a good defense.
He knows defense, absolutely.
And he's a Brian Flores.
Yeah, that's an exact game where you look at and you cannot blame Saleh.
No, that's not his fault.
The defense. I mean, they gave up 10 points.
60 yards passing.
That's a Nathaniel Hackett special.
And he hired him because he's Rodgers' boy.
Not overreacting week to week. This is a game I am going to overreact because I just don't see a way in hell the Jets keep Rodgers upright. Took a lot of hits last week.
He was hurting.
And here comes Brian Flores in a hungry defense against your trash O-line.
Crazy blitzing. Backup for the Jets? I don't even know. I'll have to look. I wish it was Tim Boyle, but he's on my team. Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Let him in.
Well, this might be the oldest quarterback room in the NFL. You know Tyrod Taylor's 35?
Yeah.
He's been around.
That's shocking.
They're combined 75 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's some old fellas. So Minnesota.
But give me Minnesota minus the 2.5. They only have one sauce on defense. You got 2 elite outside receivers on Minnesota, and that offense is just rolling. So give me Minnesota minus the 2.5.
Okay. Fair enough.
Old
Next.
people traveling across the pond.
Yeah. Rodgers going to be sleepy from that jet lag.
He might not leave. He might just get on a cruise.
Say, I'm good. I'm good. You guys go. I do think. Are they on a bye after that? No, they don't. They play Monday against the Bills. That's what it is.
The opportunity to pick if they had
That's
a bye,
true, and
they
they
played
denied
Monday,
it.
They said no.
They denied it. That's right. That's
Probably
right.
gonna bite them in the ass.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that is going to hurt them because their bye's
They
not.
thought they'd be 4-1.
But
Like,
we don't need a bye. We'll just keep rolling. Ooh. Next up, Carolina Panthers going to Chicago to take on those Bears. The Bears minus 3.5 is the current line. I said earlier that this is the hater in me coming out, right? And it's not like bad. I'm taking the Bears minus 3.5. This one is the coin isn't deciding this one because because my picks have been so bad. But maybe the Bears. I've picked the Bears the last like 3 weeks and they've covered. I'm gonna stay with the Bears here. I'm gonna pick all of your guys' teams. Spoiler alert. So either you gotta hope I get my picks right, or your teams are falling. So that's the formula, baby. Hater week is upon us.
13 again.
3-13 again incoming.
But all three of his wins.
But all three of the wins are your guys' teams. Go on. Give me Bears minus 3.5 here. I like that they got the running game going. Is there something there? Maybe there's something there. The Rams defense is beat up.
In the league.
Probably worst defense in the league. But the Bears got something going there, and I think Caleb played This is a game where you don't look at the box score, you look at the film. He played a sharp game. This was a sharp game for Caleb Williams. Only like 100-something yards. I don't care. He played a sharp game. He didn't commit the huge turnover. He had Jared Verse on his back all game long, and he played through it. Played through the game. Played great with Jared Verse just draped on him. Give me the Bears minus 3.5, even if it wasn't a hater pick. And the Carolina Panthers absolutely stink. I mean, come on. Panthers are bad in Chicago. Give me the Bears. Colin.
Panthers stink. Been riding kind of that Bears train this year. Andy Dalton revenge game.
It could be.
Wow.
No,
He plays
absolutely
all
not.
4 of his old teams this year.
That's
actually
crazy.
crazy.
Because they're not going to go back to Bryce Young. They can't. You can't go back to Bryce Young.
Not this week.
I think they will at some point this year.
At some point, I think they do as
Oh,
well.
but he was benched for performance.
I know, but.
But if you start sucking
again,
at the end of the
it's
year,
same thing. What happens when Dalton loses 4 straight, 5 straight? What's the performance change?
I know, but he still threw like what 3 touchdowns or 2
That's
touchdowns.
true.
I mean, when they're 3-10, what's the point of not going back to Bryce?
Yeah.
Because right now his trade value is on an all-time low. If you're benching him for
The trade
performance.
deadline is in 5 weeks.
Right.
Oh you play him late in the season and hope he does like a Jordan Love type
In the
stretch
offseason,
at the
yeah.
end of the
It's
year.
actually 3 years if a trade because the 5th-year option. So.
Yeah.
And this is not a good year to suck for a quarterback in the
No.
draft, in my opinion.
No, but
Next year, training.
talking about the Bears running game, Roshan Johnson needs to be on
Need
the
a lead,
in
yes.
the back. If
Need
it's a
back.
single back, if it's in the goal line, if it's in the red zone, get that guy back there. He is a dog. And then that Bears defense just continues to turn it over. So give me the Bears minus a 3.5 at home.
Okay. Madison going past you to Sage here.
Yeah.
Sir?
Are we gonna clean sweep the Bears?
We might. Undefeated clean sweeps last week.
Oh, true.
One of them was the Bears.
One of them was the Bears, and yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Bears right here as well. I mean, they're playing Carolina, who isn't playing as terribly as we thought they would, but it's about time for them to have a bad game because there's no way they have 3 good ones in a row. I mean, they played Cincinnati pretty decently, but Cincinnati has absolutely no defense. You know what the Bears do have? Defense. And I think that's when they're going to finally run into the buzzsaw. I started Deontay Johnson in fantasy last week. I'm not doing it this week. Yeah. There's absolutely no way. Jalen Johnson on him. Jaquan Brisker had a hell of a game. I mean, they're kind of killing it right now. So, give me Chicago minus 3.5. Caleb Williams going to go crazy because that defense in Carolina is just getting beat up.
I'll say this is kind of a flex game too with that whole trade between the two
Yeah.
teams.
Oh, yeah. This could help the Bears again with that second-round pick that they own
second-round
from
pick, yeah, of
Carolina.
course.
Yeah, and hey, thanks for Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Where's Bryce Young?
Yeah, where's Bryce at?
He's on the bench.
You want him to back him up?
Yeah, yeah, seriously. But thankful the Bears got to play a lackluster defense in the Los Angeles Rams last week, and the offense did enough. They scored points. They scored 24 points from the offense. No help from the defense, at least points-wise. They did get a turnover and gave them good field position. But then you look on the opposite side of the Bears this week, and it's another lackluster, undisciplined defense in Carolina. So I like the Bears' opportunity here. I'm going to take the Bears minus 3.5 as a homer pick. But the way the defense is playing, and their bend don't break, and they get turnovers in the red zone, that's a good formula. Sure, it might not go week to week because that's somewhat of luck. But the players they have and the scheme they have, it's going to keep them in games. And if the offense can continue to grow, I like what the Bears are doing right now, so I'm going to take them to cover minus 3.5 against Carolina. I think their line is a little disrespectful to the Bears.
I think it is too.
But I get it, because where's it been? It's been 1 week of decent offense, and it was decent at best. But still, the throw from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore in the end zone has me extremely excited. He was able to read a defense, understand where a guy was based on matchup, based on the way the safeties played on the start of the snap. I love hearing that from a rookie in Game 4 and then throwing a dot for a touchdown. I'm just excited for the future growth. But again, Bears -3.5.
I love that. Clean sweep. Bobby's on the Bears as well. Bobby sent me his picks. For those keeping track at home, Bobby's got Atlanta, and he's on the Jets. So, woo. And then the Bears. Woo. Next up, we've got an AFC North grudge match. Both teams definitely want this one. This is one the Bengals need. This is one I'd say the Ravens need. Ravens are coming in red hot. Ravens are the road favorites. -2.5 currently is the line. Colin, I'm going to start with you, sir. What you got?
Oh, this is one of those spots. I got to go back to it. As much as Cincinnati's defense is dog shit.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. Sage, you mentioned a couple picks ago. Their defense is trash.
Yeah.
And Baltimore is just coming in just as hot as can be. Like, who's stopping Derrick Henry in this game?
How do you stop? Nobody.
Who's stopping Lamar Jackson in this game? Nobody. Who's stopping Justice Hill in this game?
Ooh,
Nobody.
Drew Hill, the best Drew Hill in the league.
Yeah, he is. Our Drew Hill's awful.
Julian Hill, your Drew Hill played him in high school football. He rocked me.
Good. That a boy, Julian. Terrible in the NFL, but you rocked him.
He played for Nazareth High School. He killed me.
Would I like this number much more with Baltimore 3.5? Yes. Do I like it as much with 2.5? No. But give me that home division dog, and I'm going to be regretting that 47-10 because Baltimore probably leads the wood,
Yeah,
and
they're
I'm going to look
absolutely leading the
stupid.
wood.
But give me Cincy because just the anti-overreaction side of things.
Now, my first thought when I see this is, oh my God, Baltimore. Obviously it's Baltimore. I flipped the coin. Coin told me Cincinnati. And that actually makes sense only because I'm so certain Baltimore's going to kick the shit out of Cincinnati that they're obviously not. They're going to probably lose outright because that is how this season's going for me. Yeah. Thank you, Coin, for giving me Cincy in this spot because it wouldn't make any sense for this game to happen like this. Baltimore is the red-hot team. Cincinnati cannot stop the run. I mean, how well did Chuba Hubbard just do against the Bengals? Chuba Hubbard went fucking crazy. 18 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, come on, man. That's insane. It's not like the Bengals looked awesome on offense. It took a Jamar Chase miracle touchdown to really help them pull away. Yeah. And now you're going up against one of the best teams in the NFL in Baltimore. It should be the Ravens -2.5 all the way. That's where all the money's going to go, and I'm going with Cincinnati. So there.
Should be the Ravens -6.
It should realistically. This is a disrespectful line.
Well, thank you, Coin, for making Nate take Cincinnati because I'm on Baltimore -2.5 here. The run game is going to be dynamic against this Bengals defense. Derrick Henry, 152 tugs. Book it.
My fantasy team.
Yeah, I mean, that would suck for I don't know if I play you, but still.
I think you play Sage.
Oh, shit.
4-0.
I got to beat him.
Yeah, you need to do something, please.
But I'm taking Baltimore here. End of the day, the Cowboys game got closer near the end, but that one was out of hand, really. And then this last week, a full dominant performance, start to finish. You do love to see that from Baltimore. And a division opponent here, man, Cincinnati. Are they going to fall to 1-4? You'd like to think not if you're a Cincinnati fan, but Baltimore's pissed, man. They want to be above 500. Being 2-3 is not good enough. The way Lamar is going to have those boys locked, just with his attitude, he's a winner and he's a leader. And that 2.5, we said it's not enough. It's not enough. Baltimore -2.5, I think, in a breeze.
Last time Baltimore was 2-2 was 2019. We didn't lose a single game after that into the playoffs. Okay. So here we go, Baltimore, right here, -2.5. Like everyone's been saying, Cincinnati's defense has been playing like hot garbage. A little side note: the Ravens had a few defensive departures over the year, from last year. One of them was Geno Stone. Cincinnati now has him. He's trash. One of them was Patrick Queen. Last year, plays for the Steelers. He's trash.
He's trash. Steelers are pretty good.
Steelers fans are pissed at him. Look at Steelers Twitter.
I even thought last year he was starting to fall off a little. That's why the Ravens let him go.
The Ravens were like, all right, go for it, man.
Playing next to Roquan too.
Exactly.
That is so true.
And you know what? That's why Trenton Simpson's playing well right now, and I appreciate Trenton Simpson. You're doing great. But, hey, Roquan Smith is the leader of this defense.
Yes.
And the best player on the defense is not Roquan, it's Kyle Hamilton, who is going to absolutely destroy this game because he's going to be all around the line of scrimmage, making life hell for Joe Burrow. He's going to be the defensive player of this game. Give me Baltimore, -2.5, killing Joe Burrow, knocked out of the game. Put in who? Who's their backup?
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton is a monster.
He's insane.
And I also say this, though. Is Harbaugh fired?
Yeah.
He fired
This is what
Harbaugh.
I was going to say. This is what I was just about to say. Because, Sage, I know some very smart people recently have said, we got to fire John Harbaugh. Harbaugh's got to go. Ravens are going to be 0-5. Harbaugh's got to go. He's a terrible head coach. We need to bring in someone else. Sage, what do you say to those people who say that?
I don't know who the hell said that, but you look at me in my fucking eyes.
Future Nate, roll the footage.
You absolutely how it goes. Fire John Harbaugh, hire Ben
That's
Johnson.
crazy that you're saying that. You are so spoiled.
No, look at me in my eyes. If we lose in the divisional round, that's happening.
That's
happening.
I
Okay.
respect that.
All
Take. I
right, you
respect
got to keep
that
his
take.
job to the playoffs. He
respect
keeps his
that
job
take.
to the playoffs. Fair enough. All right, next up, we've got an AFC East matchup that whatever could care less, quite honestly. It's Dolphins minus 1.5, baby. Woohoo! Give me the home division dog, New England Patriots. Not even flipping the fucking coin. Patriots plus 1.5. Bobby's on Patriots plus 1.5. That's all I have to say.
Man.
Number one pick, maybe.
Dolphins hoed me last week when I took them for the first time in maybe my life. And guess what? I'm doing it again.
Oh my god.
And it's
I actually
because
love that.
New England is terrible,
They are.
and the formula to beat New England is out there. Sure, it's out there for Miami as well, and that's let Huntley play quarterback.
Yeah,
but
someone other than two that play quarterback.
it's out there for New England as well, and that's just bring any amount of pressure. Their offensive line is terrible. Brissett is not what they want for this bridge quarterback. It's going to be Drake May maybe sooner than they want just because the performance is going to be so bad. I think a second week of Tyler Huntley through practice, it'll build chemistry. There were deep shots taken, which I love because Skylar Thompson's not even attempting those passes. It will grow. And the question is it quick enough for Miami? I think this is a great team to have this week, and I think they're going to do that. I do love to see Tyreek Hill in the backfield. Get him in the ball any single way. Only complaint is on those jet sweeps, throw it to him so it's a damn pass. I had him first drive catch, and it's a run. Yeah, and then he drops that as
He
well.
dropped it.
I know, I was
It's a
sick.
fumble, it's a turnover.
I was sick. But Miami minus 1.5 here. I think this is a bounce-back week after a second week with the team in practice for Huntley.
Yeah, this is a dog shit game to pick because I really don't know who to pick. New England's at home, but Miami has some stars. I guess I'm going to roll with Miami just in case Tyreek Hill lets a few loose.
Phillips? Huh? How hurt is Jalen Phillips?
He'll be okay. I think he's gonna be
Okay, he'll be okay. Yeah, but Jacoby Brissett, I mean, I feel bad for him. He took 11 hits.
That's literally why they won't
The
play
other
Drake
day.
May, because they're afraid they'll break
Yeah,
it.
and I don't blame him. I mean, I think Jacoby Brissett, he might retire during this
straight
game.
up.
Like, he might retire during the year. I wouldn't blame him. They'd have to throw Drake May in because they cannot protect him. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson has fumbled the ball every single game this year. So I'm expecting a big game from Antonio Gibson, a little sleeper preview right there. But give me Miami because they might pull some stuff out of their ass, you know? And against the Patriots, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
We do own the Patriots, to be fair.
I will say, I already checkmarked New England, so I am switching.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
You're going against your circle of life, Nate.
I know I am. I'm going against the AFC, and it is a factual circle of life. It's just the way it goes.
Last week, 11-5.
Yeah.
And I rode that home train.
Yeah.
And I'm looking down at my paper, and 4 games in, I'm 4 for 4 on home teams. Riding that home train. Home division dog as well to be played in this game. Last week, only one on Tennessee. Was trying to jinx the
Trying to
train
help us
sweeps,
out,
and
and that's why you had
ended
it.
up stealing the pick
Yeah.
my way.
Well done.
There's no way in hell I'm taking Miami until further notice
Yep.
because they just look pathetic, abysmal, like they want to quit. They
Hard
don't
to
want to be
watch.
out there. Tyreek's pacing up and down the sideline, bitching,
Yep.
trying to hit a home run on every play, running laterally or backwards on plays instead of just getting 3 or 4 yards forwards. So give me New England at home and probably a 16-13 game.
Gross. I don't even want to watch it. Ugly. All right. Moving on. Cleveland at Washington. Washington -3 is the home team here. Bobby's on Washington. Bobby's on New England, by the way, as well, and Cincy. I got to remember to say his. So, Sage, I'm coming to you first here.
Yeah.
Cleveland at Washington. What are your thoughts?
Sorry. Cleveland looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I would argue this was Deshaun Watson's best game last week, and they couldn't catch the ball. All of a sudden, he's starting to play well, and they can't do anything for him. Whereas you look at what's going on in Washington. Everything's going right. Dan Quinn has that defense, who you said earlier, Nate, has no-name players.
No-name players.
I mean,
Balling out.
even the players that you knew were bad aren't even playing. Emmanuel Forbes isn't really out there right now, and they're still taking guys out of nowhere and just absolutely smacking other people, which is wonderful to see. It's a beautiful sight to see when Dan Quinn says Cliff Kingsbury is not leaving this game without a game ball because he called such a great game. I'm taking Washington -3. I'm shocked it's only -3. I will say, beginning of the year, I did say Cleveland is not going to have the same defense they did last year. I said Jim Schwartz never does it 2 years in a row. It absolutely never happens. And here we are, yet again, high expectations, and he's letting us down. Washington, -3.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that this is only Washington -3. It scares me that Vegas thinks this is going to be close. Cleveland did play well. Sage, you said it. That was Watson's best performance as a Brown, at least recently. And Amari Cooper really let him down on an opportunity, a big drive.
That holding on the
Yeah.
long touchdown.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, heartbreaking.
Which
Yeah,
was
heartbreaking.
not a hold.
No,
it was
not
weak.
a hold.
End of the day, though, I'll take that because I had Raiders.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be on Washington -3 here. I do like them, and I had them as the division winner this year, but this one scares me a little bit because Cleveland's defense, it might not be what it was, but it can still probably show up some weeks this season. End of the day, though, the way Washington is playing, I mean, they could score 35 again, and I think they have a chance to. I'm going to take them -3 here and a little bit of a blowout.
Yeah. And all due respect to you guys, now no respect to Deshaun Watson. His best game as a Brown, his QBR was 36.4, 176 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I mean, that's his best game as a Brown. He looked better. He looked more comfortable.
I think he did have a good game, honestly.
I think he's had one or two decent
in
statistics.
recent history.
Yeah.
In recent history.
He looked comfortable.
Just quarterback play, operation,
Yes.
how good he actually looked with the football in his hand.
Yep.
I was like,
And
okay.
his numbers would be a lot better if they didn't call back that touchdown on Amari Cooper. Like, that was a 70-yard touchdown pass, but they called it back. So, Coin has spoken. It is Washington -3 in this spot, which I like. Yes. Yes. Which I like. Bobby's also on Washington, so depending on what Colin does, we may clean sweep. Cleveland, I mean, you cannot lose that game to the Raiders last week. You just simply can't. Like, you give both teams full strength. Browns, I think, have a good shot in that one, and it's a good game. Not only should Cleveland win this game, but who's on Las Vegas? There's no Max Crosby. There's no Devontae Adams. What are we doing? How are you not moving the ball at will and scoring? I don't understand it. I mean,
If your team loses to the Raiders, you suck.
yeah. You're a garbage football team if you lose to the Raiders.
Who does that? There was also it was a question of effort, and I understand that that's going to get a response from the players, but it's like a team that was openly questioned by their coach at the podium about effort. And you lose to them, and you lose to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You cannot have that loss. Cleveland looks really bad, and Washington it looks the opposite, which means Washington's probably going to lose this game outright.
Yeah.
But Washington looks.
Point and you.
Point and me picked them right because I would have picked them anyways. Yep, bingo. Colin.
Gotta give a shout out to both these teams. 3-0 on the locks for last week. Washington played a big part in that over 50.5 score.
Yeah, the
42
whole-
points themselves. Jaden Daniels lighting this league on fire. We gave him his flowers at the start of the show, or you guys gave him his flowers at the start of the show. Rightfully so, because he looks
Insane, man.
he looks so good.
Looks so
And
good.
Cliff Kingsbury being that offensive coordinator, absolutely leading to the promised land.
Great combination.
Yeah, we talked. It's it's the reverse Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a good play caller offensively. You got a good play caller defensively.
Yeah.
Those mesh so well.
I don't see why they're hating on him for having a college-style offense. He comes straight from
He's
college.
literally just was
Let
in
him
college.
play.
Like, who cares what kind of style is?
You know?
I've seen it, and I brought it up a couple times. The right side prominent throws.
Right.
At the end of the day, if that is what he
If it's working,
excels
if it's
at,
working.
why are we
Yeah.
complaining
Why
a
who
team is
cares?
building an offense so a guy can succeed? That's
Right.
all I've wanted when Fields was a Bear. That's all I wanted.
Just
Can
play
we
your
build an
strengths.
offense around his strengths? Well, guess what? Washington's doing that, and look at them. 3-1
3-1.
and in first.
Yes, bingo.
Darn, a former college coach is running a college-style offense for a
True,
rookie
as well.
quarterback.
For a rookie quarterback who literally just got done
who
in college.
literally just knows the college. Yeah,
Stupid.
I don't get that argument. And then
Stupid.
shout out Cleveland as well, because we had the Raiders money line minus 104, and they pulled it out for us. Shout out Cleveland for being inept.
I had the Browns, baby.
Looking at
Horrible
this
week.
game, this is
Horrible
the game on the
football, dude. Horrible week.
this is the game on the slate where you look and you're like, Washington's winning this, no
Oh,
doubt,
no.
covering the 3. Not more of a dumbass pick than
Oh,
taking
baby.
the Cleveland Browns, who last
Oh,
week
my.
I took the Jags plus the 6.5, and I even kind of flirted with outright
Yeah.
on the pod, and they damn near won it
They did
outright.
almost beat the Texans.
But give me Cleveland here plus the 3, dumbass pick of the week. By far the best defense that Washington and Jaden Daniels has faced to this
Very
point
true.
in the young season,
Very true.
even though they're not as good as last year.
It's a great point. Yeah, because the Commanders have played Bucks and they got beat by 17. But then the Giants, Bengals, who can't stop can't stop anybody.
As well. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
and in game one. And then the Cardinals, who don't have a defense at all. It is interesting that it's only -3 points here. I think that's speaking more to the respect of the AFC North and the style of football they play.
Yeah.
Like the AFC North plays close games.
That's so true.
But the Bengals did just let up 38 to him, so I don't know, man. Who knows? Weird. All right, AFC South matchup. Indianapolis Colts traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Bobby is on Jacksonville in this one, -2.5. Of course he is, and he actually put a little note in, and I will read it. He said, I know part of it says, locks suck. He has struggled with his mortal locks, much like I have. And here we go. He said, Locks are trash, but Colts 9-game losing streak in Jacksonville. Something's got to give. So, spoiler alert, his mortal lock is Jacksonville minus 2.5.
Okay.
So, something's got to give, he says. Although now that, because either his lock hits.
The Colts to win,
Right.
or his lock.
Or his lock to win, right, which I get it. He's on Jacksonville, and Colin, I'm going to come to you first, and then I'm going to flip the coin.
The world might just end before that game happens. Bobby hitting a lock, and the Colts win in Jacksonville just doesn't happen.
Neither of those things.
Just like neither of these guys.
What I should have done was make it my lock.
Yeah.
Because I literally am
Take
0-4.
Colts.
Yeah, I might lock the Colts. We'll see.
First half-point loss in history.
Not much analysis to give on this game. That 9-game road losing streak in this matchup just speaks enough for itself. Give me Jacksonville minus the 2.5. Actually looking formidable-ish last week. And it depends if Flacco plays, because I think the Colts have a much better chance with Flacco, which Bobby does not want to hear.
It's just
but
truth this
it's
year.
simply the truth.
This year.
Richardson, you draft him as a project quarterback.
Yep.
You got to give him his reps and experience, but he still is, growing pains. You got to go through them. Don't give up on him quite yet. But if Flacco plays, I don't like Jacksonville minus 2.5 as much, but I'm still going to take the Jags. 9 straight at home speaks for itself.
Yeah, me being as high as I was on Jacksonville, really, this year, 3 close games, a 3-point loss to a healthy Dolphins team. The Browns' loss is really bad. At home, 5-point loss. But then a 4-point game to a division rival in Houston, who's going to be a playoff team. So the Jags are fighting, and they're around in games. Something's got to give for them. They're going to win eventually. This line tells me Richardson is playing. And I think it is an accepted fact amongst Colts Nation that if Flacco plays, they have a better short-term success. That ain't the goal.
No.
That is not the goal for the Indianapolis Colts. It's the future. And this tells me Rich is playing and should if he's healthy, in my opinion, just because if he's the quarterback, you got to figure it out. Flacco ain't the guy next year. I can guarantee you that. He's 41. Yeah. Or he's going to be 40 soon. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's going to be our back.
Yeah.
Where he knows he'll have a really good chance of playing, and he'll learn.
Flacco and Andy Dalton, they figured out the system.
Yeah, 100%.
They're
Make money. Make money.
Playman.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
4 to 5 million a year just to sit there and maybe play.
It pains me to take Jacksonville here because I do think Indy snaps the streak. But I'm going to take Jacksonville just because they've been in games this year. Something's got to give. I think it's going to finally click this week. The week you had Tanks Bigsby as a sleeper, I want to say, she got smacked on a kickoff return, and that's why he was out of the game. Because other than that, he has been a force in that offense. And if he doesn't get smacked on a kickoff and get taken out of the game because of a hard-hit injury, watch out for Tanks Bigsby. Give me those Jags to cover the minus 2.5, and I'll probably be wrong, honestly, with that one.
Yeah, you guys say, like, hey, 9 games in a row, like, there's no way they're going to win, stuff like that. They're due. It's got to happen.
Jags have lost 8 straight games. Jags have lost 8 straight.
Yeah, something's got to happen right
So we
here.
got a 9
And
losing streak
I'm
versus
a
8
firm
losing
believer
streak.
that Jacksonville is the worst team in the NFL right now. I really
They
do
might
think
be.
they are the worst. They're going to have the most prolific passer ever coming out of college, yada, yada, yada. Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be the best thing ever, and then they're going to end up with the number 1 pick with him again.
That ain't good.
Year 5 of Trevor Lawrence having the number 1.
Yeah, and they already did that once with Trayvon Walker.
True.
I mean, how many times are you going to get the number 1 pick?
We wrote it
with
off
with this guy.
Urban Meyer. Now what? Now what's our excuse?
Yeah,
I'm hearing
you have
a
no
lot of
excuse.
chatter about
In fact,
Belichick to Jacksonville. I'm hearing a lot of chatter about Peterson getting axed.
Well,
and going to
Peterson's
Bill
getting asked by reporters right now.
Yeah.
Hey, are
Would
you
you like
afraid
a job?
about your job?
No shit, I'm afraid. That was a stupid question.
And it's like,
stupid question to ask somebody.
What do
No
you
shit,
think?
dude? We're 0-4. Of course I'm afraid for my job right now.
But no, it's not even just the offense. The defense is trash too. I mean, there's so many holes to fix right now. When on Indy's side, I mean, they have a lot of injuries to deal with, and their one question mark is Anthony Richardson about to make the play of the year or he's about to throw a pick? Yeah. There's no in between, and I think he's probably going to make the play of the year this week. Give me Indy.
Hey,
You're
I respect
Indy.
it.
Okay.
I respect it, man. I think everybody's going to look at this and go Jacksonville if
Jacksonville,
Richardson is playing just because of the streak and everything. But who knows? It's going to be an interesting game.
Agree.
It's a weird one, man.
Coin took Jacksonville.
Is the epitome of this season.
Yeah, he is. It's just all over the place. Coin took Jacksonville. I do have some questions for Shane Steichen. Why are you taking out Richardson with an injured hip and then the next play running a quarterback run play?
Yes.
I don't understand that at all. Like putting him in on that drive and having him run and him immediately go down because he's still hurt. It's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, read the
all
room.
His injuries have pretty much been rushing attacks.
Yes. Like, come on.
And it's like, Well, maybe he shouldn't get rushing.
Yeah, maybe we stop that and work on
He's
passing.
also, I think he's been so used to being the biggest, baddest guy on the field for so long.
And the NFL's a different breed, man.
NFL, like, these are men.
Yes, they are.
You know, these are not boys in college.
Yeah, even the 5'10" corner will lick your ass if he gets you good.
Yeah.
Hey, yo! You know what I mean, you know? You know what I mean, you know?
What are Chicago corners doing?
You know what I mean, you know? You know
They
what
will.
I
They
mean.
will lick your ass.
He'll lick your ass.
Really?
Sign me up. Sign me
You
up.
promise?
Hey, yo. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
You get caught. Anybody.
Very
can-
unserious show. We're a very unserious show.
Anybody can hit anybody.
Send those 5'10" corners my way.
No.
Hey.
I'm moving on.
Hold on.
Buffalo at Houston. Buffalo at Houston. My God. An actual football game here. Bills looking very suspect, obviously, against the Ravens. Houston looking a little suspect against the Jags. Let's see what we got here. Don't want to drop it. What do we got? Heads. Houston. We're going with the Houston Texans in this one because I think a lot of people might, I don't know what the public's going to think about this game. Buffalo just looked really bad against Baltimore. They're going to Houston. They're probably going to be pretty pissed off. Again, I hate saying that. Like, I read that on Twitter several times. Oh, a pissed off Bills team in a dome. Like, guys, that doesn't make you better at football when you're angry.
Do you think they're not pissed off every time they play the Chiefs?
Playing angry doesn't make you better at football. It just doesn't. Like, that's a nonsensical thing.
lineman.
Yeah, then maybe. But even so, it's like the offensive lineman are going to be like, oh my God, he's so angry. I'm moving. I'm going to get out of his way. He's so mad at me. Like, no, that's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. Yeah, Houston -1.5, I suppose. Colin.
Classic spot of don't overreact to a national game of Buffalo just getting shit pumped by a run-dominant first offense,
Yes.
with something Houston has not been this season, especially with Mixon being out the
They need
last
him
couple of
back.
weeks. I just don't know what Houston is at this point
Me neither.
because they looked good week 1 against the Colts, who couldn't stop a nosebleed on the ground, and maybe still can. They looked okay in week 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Past the Bears, and that might
Yeah,
be more
and
on
they scored
the Bears
19
defense.
points. Yeah, they only scored 19
Then they got
points.
shit pumped in Minnesota.
Yep,
And they
dominated.
snuck by with the last second touchdown last week to beat the 0-4 Jags at home, or 0-3 at the time. Yeah. I don't know what Houston is at this point. I still do think they are good. They're going to be a playoff team, obviously win this division, because, wow.
Trash.
But give me those Bills on the road. I just think it's a classic overreaction spot of them just getting dominated, mixed with Houston only being 1.5. You're telling me Houston can't cover 2 at home, so give me the Bills on the road.
Bills on the road.
Circling those wagons.
No one circles those wagons, Jim.
I'm going to go with the coin here, sadly. I'm taking Houston -1.5. Houston last year, although it was his rookie season, they started slow. And if they're starting slow now, they're still 3-1. Joe Mixon, he is day-to-day, and so is Tank Dell, according to D'Amico Ryans. If I'm going to assume that Joe Mixon is playing this week, and with him being back, I think that'll be a big factor because with him, their offense looks absolutely elite, and without him, it's been mid, straight up. So I'll also say this, though. D'Amico Ryan's seeing what the Ravens did to that Buffalo Bills offense. He's going to dial up some nasty blitzes, some nasty pressures, try to keep them contained. I'm going to go Houston here at home, -1.5. I mean, this tells me they're favoring Buffalo a little because it's Houston -1.5 at home. I don't care. Give me Houston. I think they cover and win pretty easy.
I think the question we need to answer, Addison, is what month is it currently?
Yeah, sure. We're out of September.
September's over, fellas.
Yeah, we're out of September.
Hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Hope you had your fun.
Hope you had your fun.
Yeah, we got all those
September
pictures.
29th.
Yeah.
You got those
Too close,
banners
yeah.
hung. You guys are just, September 29th is too close to October to play good football. And
Yeah.
and when they're 3-3, I'm going to be like, yep, it's
Well,
not September.
when you look at who they played in September, I mean, they only played one winning team.
Yes.
Or not even winning. We're 500 right
Yeah.
now.
They played
And
against, one team they played against 2 teams that have 1 win and 1 team that has 0 wins.
exactly. And
Congratulations. Like,
yeah,
it's-
you beat them bad. Great job.
Yeah.
Then you go up against Baltimore and you get your ass rocked.
you get rocked.
You know, in
You get
multiple
their ass
ways. Yeah, you get your ass licked.
They got their ass
Straight up,
That
ass
part
licked.
I didn't even mean. Like, that actually was a sentence that I said. Like,
That was great.
hey,
But no, I think Houston just has a lot more ways to win right now. Joe Mixon potentially coming back this week, and Stephon Diggs. I mean, they tried a little weird, kind of
end-around
throwback pass to
pass,
C.J.
yeah.
Stroud. It didn't happen.
Okay,
They were like, you know what? I'll just keep it.
Yeah,
I'll just
okay.
run. There's absolutely no one in front of me right now, and it's undisputable right now. Nico Collins, top 5 wide receiver in the league.
I mean, the way
I
he's
mean-
balling,
Yeah,
man.
he's awesome.
I really can't think of 5 wide receivers better than him right now.
Yeah, imagine getting him in a trade plus that other team's first round pick in that trade. Oh, sorry, Sawyer, that's what happened.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, dude, what are you
Thank
doing?
Sawyer.
What are you doing? Ruining
Great
this
trade.
league.
Great
Ruining
trade.
this league. I'm going to go with Houston right here just because I think Buffalo, they have ways to win, but, I mean, their wide receiver core is still a bit, like, suspect. Just Keon Coleman's still learning how to play the game. Khalil Shakir just needs to be a little more consistent, stuff like that. They can't just rely on the legs of James Cook and Josh Allen, whereas Houston can do a lot more things, even apparently with Daria Gumbuale.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, he had a big day.
they got the depth. Give me Houston.
Yeah, game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, big play for him. Next up, getting into the 4 p.m., 3 p.m. slate here, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos, who are suddenly like, are these guys good? Like, is this defense legit? Maybe the defense is good, but the offense is still ass. They're so ass. I'm taking the Raiders in this game. Raiders on the road here, plus the 2.5. God, that's disgusting. I'm not going to overrule it. I'm just going to let it ride because why not? Like Denver should cover 2.5. They should easily, damn, I think Verizon's back. Okay, never mind. My phone's tweaking.
Still getting texts from
Nelder 1996 at iCloud.com. Don't email me. Give me the Vegas Raiders plus 2.5 points.
Yeah, we're talking about overreactions. I think that everybody will overreact and take Denver here after a win against the New York Jets. Their offense is abysmal. Bo Nix still has leaps and bounds to go if he wants to become a successful starter in this league. As crazy as this sounds, even with Pat Surtain out there shutting down whoever it is that they're guarding, even Jacoby Myers, I guess, is their true one now. Because Devontae's done, hypothetically, is what it sounds like. Yeah, well, Antonio Pierce liked an Instagram post that said Devontae Adams is done taking his last snap with the Raiders, and then Devontae got asked about it and said, I haven't been told anything by the organization. And it's like, oh, good God.
Today saying they're fielding calls.
Oh, yeah, Jets. Jets, Jets. Be on the phone.
Right. Kansas City's about to get Devontae.
Oh, good God, bro. That will be gross. I'm going to take the Raiders here plus the 2.5, and as crazy as it is, I almost trust Minshew to run a competent offense more than Rodgers. And it looks like a competent offense can beat Denver. I understand the Jets' defense is great, but that is not – Denver's offense has showed up in one game this year, and I don't think it's going to show up often. Give me Vegas plus the 2.5. Watch out. They're going to be 3-2.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Raiders. Antonio Pierce, coach of the year. Hey, yo. No, Las Vegas, I mean, they did exactly what they had to do against that Browns defense. They ran the ball, which they have not been able to do the entire year. They were averaging, I shit you not, 51 yards a game on the ground before that.
They were giving up almost 200 yards a game.
Absolutely. And I can't even think about a disparity that big in rushing in recent memory. It was absolutely horrible. And a lot of people were saying, hey, Zamir White's the guy. You see all those 100-yard games he had last year? That's not the same guy anymore. In fact, now it's Alexander Madison's backfield.
He looks much better.
And he looks very good.
Shout out former Ravens running backs. Alexander Madison looking good. J.K. Dobbins looking good.
That's all we do. All we do is pump out running backs.
Just RBU.
RBU. That's what we are. Ball so hard University over here.
Running back edition. Respect.
No, but Las Vegas, I mean, they put up exactly what they had to last week. Credit to their coaching staff for putting that up there. And Denver, their defense looks phenomenal. Pat Surtain, he can only lock up one guy, but how many guys did the Raiders have?
One. Not follow Brock Bowers around and just lock him up.
I mean, Brock Bowers. I mean, with what Vance Joseph can do, double Brock Bowers, put Pat Surtain on Jacoby Myers. Devontae Adams isn't going to play, and all of a sudden they're throwing to Trey Tucker.
Yeah.
Cool. Give me the Broncos right here. Minus 2.5. Yeah, I'll take that at home. I'll be the overreactor.
Division game, man. It's gonna be
close.
I can see it though. Denver's 1-2 straight.
Yeah.
Denver. Playoff
2-2, man.
We're all 2-2. And Denver.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Raiders.
Wow.
Wait,
Wow.
1-3.
1-3 though, man.
I would love to cop out and take the under, but we got to take a side. Shit. I truly don't know. I don't
This
know.
one's ugly.
Fuck. I'm just gonna go with the system I've been talking about all year. Sorry for cursing. Give me the Raiders on the road plus the 2.5. Not gonna overreact to Denver winning by 1 in New York in a rainy, Jets inept game.
I will.
Okay.
Bonix
is the guy.
Offensive rookie of the year.
60 yards passing. Stud.
-7.5.
-7.5 is awful.
All
What a
60
statistic.
passing yards positive went to Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. Cortland Sutton had more receiving yards than he had passing yards at one point.
It's kind of wild.
He had like 50 receiving yards, and he and Bo Nix had like 38 passing yards. Like, that is obscene. Next up, we've got an NFC West showdown. Arizona Cardinals taking on San Francisco in San Francisco. Line is -7.5. Addison.
Well, CMC is getting his legs amputated, so he's retiring.
Down 2
He's
legs.
retiring.
Down 2
Yeah, no, both of them. Oh, hey, yo. Hey, yo. What the hell are you talking about legs? My legs, bro. San Francisco -7.5, big spread. Arizona just shit pumped last week against Washington, and I'm not sorry for cursing. That's a big spread, but they handled it last week against a really bad Patriots team. But I don't know if San Francisco's defense is as legit as it's been over the past couple years. I think they're starting to become names and not an actual full defense. They've got a couple great players, but it's lackluster other places. Their secondary is still weak, in my opinion. It gets sort of exposed. All Arizona can do really is throw. If this doesn't get out of hand early, give me Arizona plus a 7.5. They take a 7-0 lead early, gives them a little bit of extra life, keeps it close till the end. San Fran wins, but Arizona covers.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with everything you just said there. I mean, Fred Warner's the guy over there, but aside from that, there are a lot of names. And Brock Purdy, this is probably his best year so far. I mean, Brock Purdy, he's playing. We've been talking for years about, hey, is this guy going to be good without all these stars? And all of a sudden, you're playing without George Kittle, who was back last week. I do know.
Caught a touchdown in triple coverage.
And absolutely insane.
Someone else's wide butt.
Yeah,
But-
and he was just, I'm throwing to the
Oh, yeah.
sky.
But he's making Jawan Jennings a star right now. Jawan Jennings going crazy, even with Ayuk dropping everything that comes his way after he just get that big payday. You know, Debo's not there. Brock Purdy's finally putting it together without these guys, and we have a conversation to be had about who's the best quarterback in the NFC West. Because Kyler Murray's on the other side there saying, hey, it should be me. And all he's got is Marvin Harrison Jr., and he's losing.
Yeah.
You know? So give me Arizona to cover. I think San Francisco wins, but San Francisco does not look like the same team that we all expected, especially with CMC. That's I see a Todd Gurley-esque fall off coming up soon.
That'd be heartbreaking.
Imagine taking that guy
Especially
off.
because he's all about how he takes care of his body
Right.
and stuff. And it's like,
And now it's both Achilles are in trouble. Calf, I mean, his legs are hurting, man. I mean, they have used and abused him since he got there. Let's not get it twisted. Like they've gotten their money's worth. Yeah, they have gotten their money's worth out of him.
He was the entire offense.
Yes.
too, man.
Yeah.
Stanford, too.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy everywhere. I'm right with you guys on Arizona, plus the 7.5 points here. I don't love that, but I'm gonna do it. I just saw this 4 minutes ago. Requested a trade. Now the Raiders are, Raiders want to win. They're saying somehow. I don't know if they can, but they want to win. So we'll see what happens. Rappaport says there's definitely a scenario where Devontae Adams stays in Vegas, but there are scenarios where he's headed elsewhere. The number one option listed Kansas City Chiefs for Mahomes. Yeah, that's a great trade.
There's no way they do it in division. They're like, hey, Chiefs, you want a three-peat?
They're gonna do it anyways.
Two first and a player that's a starter.
Would Devontae give me 4 first-rounders?
Why aren't you asking for
Or
that?
can you only trade 3?
I think I think you can trade as many as you want.
Yeah, because they're
Give me 4 first-rounders for Devontae.
I'm not doing that.
Give me Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes for Devontae Adams. Come on. Interesting. I wonder where Devontae ends up. I saw someone say the Bills would be a good landing spot. They need a wide receiver. Baltimore would be a fun one listed. Dallas was listed as a fun one. Imagine Dallas with him.
Devontae and Derrick Henry ending their careers in Baltimore would be beautiful.
Disgusting. No, God, no.
Just get a ring.
No, please don't. All right, what do we got? Heads. Oh, I already picked. Ha. Well, I would have taken San Francisco that time. That's okay. Colin, you're up. San Francisco, Arizona.
It's a lot of points for a divisional game, 7.5.
Yes,
Arizona, I'm just slowly starting to lose all the happiness and all the stock I had them to start the season. After hanging tight with Buffalo on the road and then shit pumping the Rams at home. They are just. I mean, they've played some good teams though, so I don't want to discredit them too much. But give me the Niners minus 7.5.
So this is a good team against them right here.
And I'll probably regret it, but give me the Niners.
Okay, Niners it is. Next up, we got a good one. Green Bay at L.A. Green Bay minus 3.5 here. Good to see Jordan Love figured out in the second half. Because I tell you what, man, I was like, get Willis out there immediately.
Yeah.
The way that Love looked in the first, I mean, I was like, he's gonna not sleep tonight. All he's gonna see is Brian Flores' face in front of him because he was absolutely just locked up. And then losing Christian Watson obviously hurts a ton. But credit to them, they battled back. Only lost by 2. They fought hard in the second half. Love to see that, but close. Nothing doesn't matter. You lost. At the end of the day, you lost. I'm going to take you. I'm going to take Green Bay. Minus 3.5 on the road. That is hideous. Will be a fun coaching matchup in LaFleur versus McVay. The Rams are just so beat up, man. And Josh Jacobs does look good, in all fairness. Josh Jacobs in that rushing game looks really solid. Hopefully Jordan Love knocked that rust off and he's ready to go. Give me Green Bay minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm also on Green Bay minus the 3.5 here. Jordan Love needs a win. This is a must-win for Jordan Love because you can't be 0-3.
No.
And then let some BS conversations start, because it will eventually if Malik Willis and the Packers start losing with Love. It will start. The Rams are just so beat up. Defensively, they're bad. They're terrible. Green Bay's got weapons. Love looks comfortable. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I don't know if the Rams can keep up offensively. They can move the football, but can they get into the end zone? They failed to often last week against the Bears, and it bit them in the ass. And I don't know if they'll be able to do it against Green Bay. I'm going to take Green Bay minus the 3.5. Jordan Love will ball out here and say, hey, I'm the starter. Everyone shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently you just need one half of football to knock the rust off for Jordan Love, and I think he's back, just like you guys were saying. I think Green Bay just has the weapons, and LA straight up does not. I mean, when you're relying on Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, and Jordan Whittington to be your offense, Kyron Williams can only do so much, you know? Matthew Stafford's getting up there. Jordan Love, he's the guy over there, you know? They are missing Christian Watson, which I think is going to open it up a little more for guys like Dontavian Wicks. Jaden Reed has been absolutely a monster this year. I love watching him play. And Tucker Kraft even had a huge game last week. And can't forget, they got a little depth because Marshawn Lloyd we thought was going to be the guy. And then all of a sudden, A.J. Dillon was out. And they're like, who do we have to run the ball? Emmanuel Wilson is a guy. He's been kind of a dog. Give me Green Bay minus 3.5 going into SoFi.
Reed is definitely Love's number one favorite target.
Yeah,
And Devontae to the Packers reunion.
We were wondering who was going to be that number one. I mean, it was a coin flip for all.
I thought it was Watson.
I thought it was Dobbs.
Reed has the best connection, man.
Yeah, he does.
Put numbers up.
I badly want to take the Rams in this game, but I'm absolutely not going to. I just think injury, like what they have currently on the not on the field, is going to hurt them in this game. Green Bay needs a win to bounce back from being 0-2 with Love, as you mentioned. Maybe prematurely paid him. I don't know. 6-8, win 3 straight to make the playoffs, and those 3 opponents were all trash. And then you beat an NF Dallas team, no shot there, and then you get slaughtered, or not slaughtered, but you lose to San Fran.
They choked. Either kicker or
Yeah, they did choke.
But give me Green Bay on the road here. I just think they are the better coach team, just
Yes.
slightly, and
There's
I
that talent,
I do
man.
think they do have much better talent on the field as well. So give me the Packers.
Yeah, LaFleur might be top 3 coach.
Yeah, LaFleur's a great coach. He really is.
Go Pete, go.
Yeah. That's a clean sweep for Green Bay. All 5 of us on Green Bay are second one. Packers and Chicago, the
That's a
2.
big bounce back, though, from them.
Yeah, I do too. And the Rams just their coaching of McVay can only go so far when there's such a divide
I
of
think
talent.
that showed last week because Eberflus
Yeah.
and McVay, there's clearly a difference.
Yeah, there's clearly a head coaching
Eberflus
goal.
was
What are you
able to
laughing
do
at over there?
I get notifications from this guy on Twitter, and he was like, "Damn, if Javonte goes to the Jets, I mean, that means Alan Lazard's gonna be the number 2 wide receiver."
Yeah. Lazard drops
That's
from
all.
1 to 2.
Absolutely, not even in this conversation. My bad.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's true. Next up, we've got kind of an ugly one. Giants at Seattle here. We've got Seattle minus 6.5 is the line. I wish I could just make this coin be ahead, but oh, it is sick. Thank God. Give me Seattle minus 6.5 here. Yeah. I know. I really needed it. Giants played okay against Dallas, sure, but they were at home, and Dallas still beat them by 5. Seattle is solid at home. They're really good against bad teams. They win against bad teams. That's what the New York Giants are. So I'll take Seattle minus 6.5 here. Addison, coming to you.
I'm going to go opposite of you here. I'm going to take the New York Giants and the offense that's sort of starting to grow a little bit. Daniel Jones at least has connection with Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, and the backfield with Singletary and Taylor, I think it still can grow there. But if the weapons you can throw, you can build off that with the run as well. I think this is a lot of points. Sure, Seattle can score points, but guess what? They give them up as well. McDonald in his first year there, the defense is still growing. Sure, they can create some good pressures, but if Daniel Jones gets some time, I think this could just similar to last week. It'll be close enough. They'll do just enough to keep it around and cover for me plus 6.5 G-men.
Yeah, I'm worried about this game just because Malik Neighbors did go out of last week with a concussion.
True. And most times that's 8 days is what the average is. So
Yeah.
he should be back for Sunday, but it's going to be like up against the timeline.
Right, so he is right there. So I like literally, if there's a way, if I could go like, if Malik Neighbors plays, I'll take the Giants. But if he doesn't, I'll pick the Seattle Seahawks. But I'm gonna risk it. I am gonna go with the Giants just because I think Malik Neighbors will play. My fantasy team needs him, so I'm counting on you. But like you said, Wan'Dale Robinson this is his coming out party. He's been there 3 years and no one's really gotten him to work, and all of a sudden this year he's just like, hey, I am a slot receiver.
Yeah, I'm open
Give
every
me
time.
the rock. And he's a speedster. He's a guy. I love watching him play. And that running game, I mean, last week it was against the Cowboys. Can't discredit that. But hopefully it's a jumping pad for them to continue that against Seattle. So give me the New York Giants plus 6.5.
Yep. And I'll say this for the concussion thing, man. That shit ain't real when it comes to the days. Like guys play. Like no, the concussions are real, but like the gotta wait 8 days.
No, yeah,
you
that's
don't.
just like the
Why
average.
wouldn't you just be out? You know, whatever the NFL's like thing is, it's like guys can get a concussion on Thursday and fucking play next or whatever it is.
they
It's
really
like
can.
Aston told me off air, like, Guardian caps are bullshit.
Yeah, they are.
Guardian caps are
If you want to
trash.
play NFL, you know what you're signing up for.
No one wears it, man.
No, I mean, they could. Like, it's an
Okay,
option.
I
You could wear
advocate
it.
Guardian
Why
caps.
doesn't Tua?
I don't know. He needs to. He needs to wear one.
Yeah, why was it 2 over in a Guardian cap?
I don't know. You should going forward. I get it. I don't know. I have never worn one. I don't know how much
Yeah,
weight
what
it
if-
adds
no,
to your
what does
head.
it do? Does
What
that
if it
fuck
genuinely
you
is
up?
like
No,
shit?
legitimately,
Like you're
you
fighting
can't.
to keep your head up, right? And you got to be able to look. Like as a quarterback, it'd be hard to
if it
wear
slows
one.
it down just a
Right,
tiny
if
bit,
you can't
that's-
get your head over
you
it,
need those
that's
seconds.
huge,
You need those
huge.
seconds, you know?
I've never worn one. Maybe we should get one for the pod and try it.
Yeah,
See
we
what
all
happens.
should wear Guardian
And
caps.
run into the wall until we get a
Yeah.
concussion. See how many times it
Hey,
takes.
yo.
I'm down.
I'm down. Seattle at home, much different team than on the road. Yes, they did just get. I don't want to say destroyed, but
No,
they did
they
lose
fought.
convincingly
Yeah,
to
they did.
Detroit there at the end of the
Detroit kind of owns them though.
Seattle scored 20 plus in all 4 games this year. The Giants have gotten 21 once. So I trust one offense to be able to move the ball and score. Even though the Giants have looked better the last couple of weeks, I still don't trust them to execute 5 field goals against Dallas. 26 yards rushing against Dallas is
Yeah,
pathetic.
bad.
I think the 4 of us in a 60-minute game might get 26 yards
think we
against
could.
Dallas
I think we
defense. So give me Seattle at home. It's a big number, 6.5, but I think they win by a touchdown.
Alrighty. Sunday night football. We've got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Line is Steelers minus 1.5. It will be Justin Fields going this week. Micah Parsons, any update on him? Is he at? Or DeMarcus Lawrence?
I honestly haven't seen an update, but
Okay.
I believe he's probably going to be out.
I was going to say, I thought I saw that him and Lawrence both might be out. In that case,
Missing, right?
yeah, first time he's missed a game in his career. Who's your backup pass rushers? I'm asking this like it matters.
Dog shit.
Okay, well, that's not ideal.
Dallas, because guess what? We had no money to go around.
Yes.
Very true.
All right, well, I'm going to take the Steelers minus 1.5. Now, the knock against the Cowboys the first 3 weeks of the season was you can't stop the run. Us 4 and Bobby at center and Austin Jr. running back could probably put up 50 yards in the game. Couldn't stop the run. Pittsburgh can only run the ball, it seems like. Like, if you trust Justin Fields to dominate, you're going to lose. We saw it. They were 3-0 when they outrushed their opponent. They didn't outrush their opponent last week, and they lost. Pittsburgh minus 1.5 here at home, an outdoors game. We know Dallas loves the domes, loves playing inside. I'm going to take Pittsburgh because the coin tells me to. Let's not get it twisted here, but give me Pittsburgh minus 1.5.
I think this line is disrespectful, but it obviously indicates I think both those rushers will be out.
Because there's no way they should be favored.
Yeah, I just don't think so. Pittsburgh 3-1 though, and Fields did have one of his best games. He did have over 300 yards, and he ran well. It was good decisions making. One really bad play, and it sort of screwed him, but it wasn't the main key to the loss. I'll say this: Pittsburgh's defense. Oh, it's vaunted. You know, it's only averaging 8 points allowed per game. Look what happens when they play a veteran quarterback, 30-something-year-old guy, late 30s. He can move the ball at a competent rate. They allow points. Well, guess what Dallas can do offensively? Sure, their defense struggles, but Dallas can score points. And if this turns into a shootout, I like Dallas, even if it is on the road. So give me the Cowboys plus the 1.5. Offense just scores too many points.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh last week played the Colts, and I really think that the Dallas Cowboys and the Indianapolis Colts are very similar team-wise right now. The only difference is the Cowboys have a quarterback and a star wide receiver. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys right here to upset, I guess, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And after this week, after starting 0-2, the Ravens going to be top of the AFC North.
Very well, could be.
I will say the line has moved to minus 2.5, so that makes me even think more so that those guys are going to be out.
Yeah, 2 names here for you: Chauncey Golston
Oh, boy.
and Marshawn Nealon. Both
Oh,
have
Marshawn
been-
Neal out of Western Michigan.
Yep. They both have been solid rotational pieces throughout the
Yes.
season, but no Micah Parsons, no
Second-year
DeMarcus
guy?
Lawrence.
Marshawn Nealon, pretty sure second-year guy?
I think so, yeah.
I remember him.
Hey, it's only Tuesday. Let's hope Mike is.
It's only Tuesday. It's hilarious on my sheet here. I marked Dallas, knowing damn well I never picked Dallas,
Never
so
picked
I don't know why I
Dallas.
did that. So just give me Pittsburgh, classic picking against my team. It turns to work out pretty well when I do that. So give me Pittsburgh minus the 1.5 at home and a nice hedge spot.
I love that. Yep, classic business business as usual. Monday Night Football. Business decisions.
Just like Rasul Douglas.
Just like what the Raiders are doing every week. Business decisions.
Henry, let me go to the outside.
Let me go to the outside. Let him. You know he doesn't want to stop Henry. He doesn't want to get in front of him. Who does? We've seen
It'll be a highlight reel. Just
Coach Hecatane. Yeah, like he
when we got
literally
picked up
grabs
by Josh Norman,
and
Trayvon
puts them
Diggs.
in the
Dribble.
dribbles the head off people. Monday Night Football. Yeah, it's fun. That's got to be fun. New Orleans Saints at Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, line is Chiefs -5.5.
Oh, that's good.
Saints, I'm going with the Saints on the road here. I mean, Chiefs just don't cover spreads, man. They really don't. They've covered, one spread this year, and it was against the Ravens, and they could have lost that game. I mean, Harbaugh was going for 2, so do the Ravens get the 2-point conversion to win outright? Maybe. Chiefs just don't beat teams big, man. They just don't. They don't care. They don't care about style points. Everyone says good teams win, great teams cover. The best team in the league is the Chiefs. So there's the line. Like, good teams win, great teams cover, but the best team is the Kansas City Chiefs. But they're not going to cover. Not going to cover the 5.5. They just don't. So give me the Saints plus the 5.5.
Yeah, I'm just going to go opposite you here. It does pain me to take Kansas City with a decently sized spread, but 1 touchdown, not even a PAT, they can win the game or with a cover. I think that Spags still has the defense, sure.
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed, hey, that was a good departure because he sucks.
Yeah,
He's
cooked
fallen off
all
a
game
cliff.
today.
He's fallen off a cliff. So good departure there, but Kansas City still has Chris Jones, still has Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, injury. Obviously a bummer for the offense. But guess what? Andy Reid's been there, done that, having coached 20 years in the league. He knows how to keep things going when you lose a guy. And I trust in Patrick Mahomes and New Orleans. I said it at the start of the season, false hope. You've had it. How does it taste? Because guess what? None of it's real. So Kansas City -5.5, and all of a sudden the Saints are under 500.
Just a classic start to a football season for the Saints.
2-0, best team in football.
90 points.
Best team in football. I said it.
Yeah,
I said
90
fake hope.
points.
Fake hope.
Yep.
Derek Carr, he's the merchant.
Absolutely sad. I will say Derek Carr did not have a bad game last
No,
week.
he did not.
No, he did.
Yeah, he
his
actually
one
had a
pick
pretty
was some
solid game.
BS, I think. It
Yeah,
was like a tip
absolutely.
pass. It wasn't on him.
Like, picks need to be
He's
wide
playing
receiver
good.
stat too.
He's playing good. Yeah.
But yeah, Kansas City. I mean, they've lost so much, and at some point you got to think like, when is it too much? You know? I mean, they don't have Pacheco. I mean, we didn't even mention that earlier.
Yeah,
they don't have
Pacheco, no
Rice.
Rice.
They don't have Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce is kind of washed a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like.
You know, I mean, when is it gonna be too much? And I think this is gonna be the week when we finally say, okay, it's time to worry about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints right here. I mean, they have the speed to take down this power defense. It is a power defense. It's not a speedy defense that's flying around. They try to hit you in the mouth, and hopefully the Saints can kind of counteract that with Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara. I mean, they have the weapons to do it. Go out there and show them.
I want to look this up. What's the Chiefs' record since Swift and Kelsey? Because it's got to be phenomenal.
Oh, I'm certain.
I mean,
it's
it's a
insane.
Super Bowl
yeah,
win
Super Bowl run with
And
maybe
then
a loss or
4-0
two in
this
there.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a loss.
Have you seen the edits where it's like Taylor Swift running with the ball?
Yes,
I
she's
love
gonna
that.
need to be
I
the
love
RB next,
that,
man. She's next up. Colin, what you got in this game?
Scrolling through Monday nights, your boy is 5-1 against the spread on Monday nights, with the only loss being that Eagles choke job in week 2. Take the field goal, they cover. Don't give up the touchdown, lose outright. Give me the Chiefs, which made me happy. Give me the Chiefs at home here. 5.5 is a good number. If it was more than a touchdown, I wasn't sniffing. But give me the Chiefs minus the 5.5. I think they can win this by a tud and just figure out how to win another game at home.
I will say, I'm just looking it up quick. It looks like just with her in attendance, they're 13-2. Now, not just because she hasn't been there for all the games this year, I don't think, but I mean, 13-2 with her in attendance, which is insane. And last year, that was what made Travis Kelce play well. Now he's just not playing well in general.
He had a good
He
game
had a
last
good
week.
week last week, but there was no one else to throw to.
Right. I think he had like 70-some yards in the first half, I want to say.
That's right. He did start out hot, didn't he?
70-some too.
Yeah, he probably did.
89, 7 for 89. No
7 for
touchdowns.
'Cause I was sweating. I was like, I had him 25 plus all, and I'm like, he gets 25.
He's got to get 25. He's got to get
Yeah, he
25.
scored me 15 in the fantasy, and I'll take that.
Yeah, you'll take
You
that.
think that for Mark Andrews too.
Yeah, I
just gotta
would.
hit.
Dude,
25 yards.
I'm never
A
playing Mark
yard,
Andrews
right?
again.
8 yards.
Single yard. Alrighty, let's get into Mortal Locks for the week. And I am also snoozing, but you guys, it'd be smart just to pick against me, right? Just don't listen to my Mortal. Take the opposite direction. I mean, I'm just trying to think back. I don't remember what my week 1 Mortal was. Oh, it was over in Dolphins-Jags. That was hideous. They scored 37 points. Week 2, I had the Ravens, and they lost outright. So I'm tempted, do I do something funny and take the Ravens again here? as a road dog in Cincinnati, -2.5.
Here's the thing.
Tempted.
Before
Tempted.
you started saying that, I was like, I'm gonna take whatever he says the opposite. And then you said that, I was like, nope.
You can't do that.
Never
You can't
mind.
do that. Dueling mortals. That'd be mean. But I would understand. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm just not sure. You know what? I think so. I think I'm gonna take the Ravens -2.5 as my mortal lock this week. Again, that line is disrespectful to the Ravens. If I'm just being totally honest, if we ignore the fact that my mortal locks are 0-4, why are the Ravens only 2.5-point favorites in this game? The Ravens looked literally unstoppable against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. The Bills are miles better of a football team than the Bengals are. The Bills are significantly better than the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals are not a good football team this year. They just aren't. Ravens are. Who's on the defensive line for the Bengals that can stop them? There isn't anybody. There's nobody on that defensive line that can stop them. Ravens should win this game handily. Sage, I'm sorry I did it to you. But it should happen. And I'm not giving up on my mortal locks.
So is the pick being switched for the game itself?
No, it's not.
So you're taking Cincy for the game picks.
Cincy for the
and
game
then
picks,
Baltimore
yes.
for mortal?
Bingo.
Wow.
Okay.
The coin spoke on that one. This is me.
Okay.
This is me. Going Baltimore. Because I can't
Feels a
follow.
little cheap.
I can't follow. It wouldn't matter what I'm winning one.
Scraping one of the wins by.
Winning one of them.
I've gone back and forth. I've wanted to join Bobby with the Jacksonville,
Yep.
but I can't do it. Sorry, Bob. Give me those Green Bay
I
Packers
thought about 'em.
minus the 3.5 out in Los Angeles. Jordan Love's going to be in his big on Sunday,
Big.
and they are going to cover this 3.5 on the road.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
I'm joining you, man.
Oh, really?
I'm taking
Riding.
we're riding, man.
Hop in the wagon.
Green Bay -3.5. I think it's too many weapons. Jordan Love, another week back, full week of practice. Going to be completely healthy. Just watch out. Rams are too beat up. Green Bay's got too much offensively. And this is going to be a home game for Green Bay, even if it is on the road. So
LA gets no fans. Sage.
I'm going to roll with the Washington Commanders, -3 right here against the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I just love what they're doing. They're on an absolute tear right now. They're going to tear right through Cleveland at home. Washington -3.
Love it.
I love that.
The stadium isn't dumb, though.
Yeah, that is an
Shit coming out of the pipes.
literally coming
It's
out of the
going to be
pipes.
rocking so bad that it's going to fall down.
It might collapse. It might collapse.
But
Gary
I was gonna
Kubiak
say,
style.
yeah, 3-0. And
Collapse.
Yeah. Hey, that's a
That's
W.
the end of the game.
That's a
Yeah.
W. Full
Uh,
Batman. The field collapses.
Oh,
in
6-0,
bombs
6-0.
every
I
year.
don't want to push.
Excuse me, no bombs.
6-0.
Let's get into the hottest segment on the show. It's Colin's Locks, ladies and gentlemen. 9-3, 9-3, 9-3, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 last week. Best bets. Colin, what do you got for us this week?
Besides the week where Nate tailed the locks week 3 and they went 1-2, we are 8-1 the rest of the year on the locks.
It was the Nate hate one that won.
Yeah, it
for
was
you.
the Nate one that actually
anti-Nate
won.
parlay that actually won.
So that's
Everything's against me this year. I don't get it.
Nate is in piss.
In the mud.
Let's start it off fun with an under here. We went over 50.5 last week in Washington, Arizona. You're telling me an AFC North matchup has a 50.5 total point line in Baltimore and Cincy? Give me that under 50.5. 27-23 still covers that 50.5 minus 110 odds. Bobby, your mortal lock money line or spread makes it onto the locks this week. Jags minus the 2.5 on the spread at minus 120 for the second lock. Last and final one is the money line parlay, as always. Give me those Seahawks on the money line at home against the Giants. And give me those Chicago Bears on the money line at home against Carolina. Plus 102 for that. That just
love
seems
that.
too free.
Too free.
So don't let me down.
I'm
3-0, 3-0, 3
I'm
and
betting,
0.
I'm betting on it. I'm betting on Seattle and Chicago. Woo!
please don't.
That was an outrageous take.
Well,
Should be that Nate goes 14-2 in picks.
yeah, no, holy.
It has a plus 500.
Plus 500 week. Outrageous.
Well, I predicted some history last week for Jamar Chase, and that did not happen. And it's going to be in the Cincinnati game that I have a prediction again. Colin, these two teams hate each other, and they love to run it up. And I'm going to take a little bit of history. Your under will still hit because the Bengals are going to get shut out. Give me Derrick Henry to set the NFL record for most rushing yards in a game. Give me 30 rushes, 302, 3 tutties, 265-plus rushing yard touchdowns, absolute. Show the wheels. He showed them last week. He's going to show them again this week. Derrick Henry setting some history. We're going for it back-to-back weeks. 302 rushing yards on 30 attempts, 3 tutties.
Derrick Henry, you will not make it to January.
But I love that.
I'm
I'm
creaming.
playing gas in fantasy
Come
this
on.
week. That would make me so,
I got him in the league, so I'll take it.
so happy.
Oh my God, I'm getting my ass licked right now.
Is there a 5'10" cornerback there?
Oh my gosh, not my chair turning
Come on,
into
man.
Mike Sanistrill right now. Gosh. All right, now we got the sleepers coming up. So first, we're gonna roll with some running backs right here. I got two for you this week. We're starting bye week, so this is where it's really gonna start getting heavy in this segment right now. First one, we're gonna go with Justice Hill. I mean, he was the leading receiver for the Ravens last week. 7 catches, 78 yards, and a tutty. And he also added on another 40 yards in the ground. Absolutely efficient. That man is a chain mover. All he does is convert third downs.
First down.
All he does. And not that there's going to be many third downs in this game, but I still believe that this man deserves to be rostered in just about every single league. You know? And I checked his roster numbers. He's like 10% rostered.
Ooh,
And I don't know how.
That's
But
low, man.
crazy.
all he does is catch passes out of the backfield. I think he's one of the best scat backs in the league right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number two, I kind of hinted at it earlier in the week. Ramondre Stevenson has fumbled in 4 straight games. I think they're going to start giving the rock to Antonio Gibson. You know, I mean, they don't really have many other running backs to give the ball to, and especially when they are playing. Who are they playing again? Miami? Shit.
Okay. All right.
Antonio Gibson scoring twice this
Don't need to be
week.
rude. Twice.
Twice
Yeah,
this
that was
week.
Think.
Is it? Is it? Is it? I got 2 wide receivers for you as well. With Christian Watson going out, obviously Jaden Reed is going to get his, but I'm going to roll with Dontavian Wicks. I think Wicks is going to have a hell of a game this week. I think he's going to eat up a little bit of that pie for that target share. He's already been killing it a little bit, and he's going to get in the end zone like he has been. That's what he does. But my second one, I mean, I don't know how this wide receiver is still under 30% rostered, and it's Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
We talked about him earlier. His target share has been near 30% all year.
It's not going down.
I mean, regardless of who's throwing the ball, if you're getting the rock that many times,
Especially in PPR formats, man.
exactly,
Take
you
the
are
volume.
going to do something with
Take
it.
the volume.
Especially with Malik Neighbors possibly being out, possibly not being at 100% because of the head injury. I'm going to roll with Wan'Dale Robinson right here. He's on your waivers right now. He's projected to get 13.2 points right now. I think it could be more like 20.
Yeah. He had 14 targets last
Yeah,
year.
that's
Exactly.
crazy.
That's absolutely insane.
Number 2.
Yeah.
And I got a tight end for you this week.
Oh, okay.
Because apparently this week is sponsored by your Green Bay Packers. Give me Tucker Kraft.
Crap.
Had nine targets last week. Caught 6 of them. Even got a touchdown in there. I mean, obviously, again, with Christian Watson going out, with Jordan Love being back in, he loves his tight end. Give me Tucker Kraft. He's gonna score again this week. Give me Justice Hill, Antonio Gibson for running backs, Wicks and Robinson for receivers, and Tucker Kraft for a tight end.
Yeah, love that. I don't know how. Who is it? It's only 10%. Justice Hill rostered 10%.
Yeah.
That is crazy,
That's bad,
man.
man. He is a, you said
Even as a
Right.
handcuff.
Yeah, it's a handcuff to have.
Scat back McGee too, man.
Catches
He is-
every ball out of the backfield.
Yes, sneaky vet is 2 catches on this drive.
Yeah,
Just
this
so
drive,
it
yeah.
happens
Well,
more
trade the
often than it
Raiders,
does not.
Justice Hill
For Devontae Adams, straight up. Yeah, 1 for 1. You'll miss Justice Hill more than I think you would appreciate Devontae Adams.
I do love Justice.
Justice Hill picks up. He's a chain mover.
And he's a change of pace too. to
Yeah, for Derrick Henry, he's the
Holy
big-
shit,
he's
They
the
don't
big
big
even have
hammer.
Pete Mitchell yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
crazy.
if you get
That's
Keith Mitchell
crazy.
back, then you deal Hill for Devontae Adams.
Apparently, Devontae Adams just came out. They're looking for a second rounder plus additional.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry.
Jerry, get on the phone. I did see someone where it's like Jerry Jones comes out. Jerry Jones comes out and says, "Man, we just couldn't afford what they were asking for," and then like 10 minutes later, traded for a 5th-round pick and a bag of potato chips. And it's like, I couldn't afford them. Couldn't afford them. It'll be interesting to follow where Devontae Adams ends up, and how all these go. It's gonna be a great week of football. Whether your team is good or bad, doesn't matter. Football's here. We're gonna enjoy it regardless, people, because it's here and it's gone before you know
It's
it.
fleeting.
It's here and it's gone before you know it. Yeah,
It's already gone.
yep. Blink and you miss it. So that's all we've got for you guys today. We will see you all next week.
Peace.